God bless you for joining me today. I'm Pamela Mantey for Glow Women's Network and for Enlightened Truths. So many times we are negligent of how the words that people have spoken over our lives, the declaration that people have spoken upon our lives affect us, especially when they are negative words. We grow up with so many people in our lives, even sometimes our parents, because they don't know, they speak things into our lives that really affect us. Sometimes our teachers, our friends, our neighbors, or just people that we come in contact with as we grow up. And do you know that those words that are spoken into your life, they somehow get imprinted into your mind somehow, and it becomes your mindset. Therefore, it affects your self-esteem, it affects your performance, and it limits the way you go about your life, or the way the importance of your life, your purpose to you is diminished. You are not able to flow into life as you're supposed to with confidence, knowing that you can do everything that has been assigned to you, that you even have a purpose to live a useful life, that God can use you for His glory. This is what we are going to talk about today. I'd like us to read from 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 8, King James Version. And he stood and cried unto the armies of Israel, and said unto them, Why are ye come out to set your battle in array? Am I not a Philistine, and ye servants to Saul? Choose you a man for you, and let him come down to me. Now this is a short narrative. I'm talking about when the Philistines were set against the Israelites with King Saul as the king, and Goliath, who was the giant, had been taunting the Israelites for days. Speaking down on them, telling them how useless they were and how weak they were. And, finally he came out and said, you know what? Am I not a Philistine? And are ye not servants to Saul? What did he mean by that? Or he says that, am I not a Philistine? The Philistines had been winning their wars and battles against Israel. Goliath, he had overcome so many people, so many warriors and all that. So he believed in himself. He knew that the Philistines were conquerors and they were winning. And he said, you know what? I am a Philistine, but who are you? You are servants to Saul. Saul was the king of Israel. But Saul was so scared, all right, that he was hiding behind the soldiers and even trying to bribe somebody to go and kill Goliath. He told them that whoever kills Goliath, I'm going to give you my daughter to marry, and I'll give you this, and I'll give you that. He was a wimpy king, all right? And Goliath was trying to refer them. He was naming them, actually, giving them the label that you are servants to Saul. Your king is scared of me, all right? And you are his servants, so what can you do? He was putting a label on them, and it demoralized the Israelites, their soldiers. Therefore, they were all scared to really go forth and fight against Goliath. This happens so much in our lives, all right, that we allow people to talk down on us. We allow people to really tell us what we are when we are really not those things. We allow the society to tell us what we are. If you are of a certain culture, if you are black, you are Hispanic, if you are this or that, you can't do this, you can't do that. Who says that? The thing that you need to know is that nobody has the right to label you. Nobody has the right to name you except the manufacturer, except the person who made you. For example, the makers of Ford cannot go and name a Cadillac car. No, they are not the manufacturers, and they have no right to name that car. It is only God who can name you, only God who has the right to tell you who you are and who you are not. Not anybody else. Don't allow the devil to speak to your mind, things that demoralize you, things that make you look down on yourself, things that break down your self-esteem, because God has made you a great person. He has placed his treasure, his glory in you. Know who you are and refuse and reject any word that doesn't come from God. If somebody was to walk to you and begin to call you, F word and N word and B word and any kind of word, all right, you would be upset, you will be furious, and you will sometimes even fight that person who calls you that name. You will refuse it and you will reject it. I want you to have that same passion All right, toward any word that is spoken to you that is not of God. Refuse it and reject it. When anybody speaks to you a word that is not of God, don't allow anyone to label you. Don't allow anyone to name you except God who made you, God who created you for a purpose. When you look at a manufacturer would put something together, whether it's an invention, they would equip that invention, all right, to function in the way that they have purposed it to. In the same way, God has made you, He has created you, formed you, shaped you for a purpose, and He has equipped you and placed everything that you need to fulfill your purpose. Therefore, know that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Know that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and nobody can tell you anything else that is not true to that. Hold on to the word of God that He has spoken, to the promise of God. Know who you are. Accept it, believe it, and walk in it. God bless you, and I will see you next time.